Done? Good. Hopefully that little activity got you to start thinking about the content you teach and how you teach it. What right now is being used in your classroom, the lower levels of Bloom's taxonomy or the upper levels? Because in a flipped learning environment, it is the teacher's job to make sure that they do their very best to push the lower levels outside of their classroom and leave that to the students to front load. Typically that's done through videos, but keep in mind videos aren't necessary all the time. Think of English teachers who have asked their students to read a chapter or two the night before class and then come to class prepared to discuss, debate, think critically, analyze, all of those upper levels of Bloom's taxonomy. So just don't think it's all about the videos. It's all about the lowest levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Then comes the next step, classroom design. How do I take my classroom that I have and push outside all the lower levels and then make room for all the upper levels of Bloom's taxonomy? And when we typically think of classroom design, we think of a classroom layout. How do I lay out my classroom to make it most conducive for learning? Guess what? You're doing the exact same thing now, only we're focusing on the content. How do I take the lower levels and make them reachable, make them accessible to all students 24/7? That's the goal. So even if students are gone, even if they are busy, even if they have to go to a college visit and miss your class, they can still access what they need to access outside your classroom. In most cases, in most studies that were reviewed, this was done with some type of learning management system or an LMS, Edmodo, Schoology, Moodle. See those down below and you're more than welcome to explore any of those. I highly recommend you focus on an LMS that is fitting for the technology that is used in your school. So check with your tech coordinator, check with other teachers, see what technology is available, see what get students' opinions on it as well. Then once you have that accessible outside the classroom, now you have to start thinking about your class time. You have probably more class time once you begin flipping. That's what teachers forget about is the in-class time, because let's face it, idle hands are the devil's playground. And we know this. So what you want to make sure is that you now have good, solid, hands-on activities within the classroom, because this allows the students to take that front loading and allows them to put into practice with you, the expert, present. They hit a roadblock, they can ask you. They have struggling to understand a certain concept, now you can pull groups of them together and reteach that concept together. It is a much more engaging environment. And that is one key thing that these studies showed, was that engagement was through the roof. Now you can begin to explore how you want those lowest levels of Bloom's taxonomy accessed outside the classroom, and then what kind of activities do you want to now open up to inside your classroom. I hope this entire website has really helped you go through the steps to start developing something that looks more like a blended learning environment or a flipped learning environment. I'd love to hear some of your success stories when it comes to flipping your learning environment. Let me know what helped. If you have further questions, don't be afraid to contact me or connect with me in the links down below. What are you waiting for? Go flip your learning environment.